Hello everyone. In this demo, I'm going to show you how we should be able to use Dataguard measure line commands to create a Dataguard broker configuration. To use a Dataguard broker, there are certain requirements. So you must be using the Enterprise Edition. Let me see. So I'm using Enterprise Edition. So having the same Enterprise Edition version on the standby side also. The next requirement is the compatibility. So we need to have a compatibility set to at least 10.2.0.0.1.0. So let me see. So I'm using a compatibility parameter 11.2.0. The next requirement is Oracle services. So you should be able to connect to both the primary and standby. So let me see. This is my primary TNS ping. This is my standby TNS ping. I also test the same thing on the standby side. This is my standby server. So we verify the same thing here. Able to do TNS ping, and I'm able to do TNS ping for standby server as well. The next requirement is the global underscore DB name as names. So let me see whether I have the correct global underscore DB name. So I'm going to see this parameter, the attribute value. This global underscore DB name value should be set similar to this one. This is SID underscore DGMGRL dot the local domain. See the local domain, it is the value that is set for DB underscore domain initialization parameter. Similarly, the same value should also be set on the standby side. Here, this is the SID. SID instead of SID, I can see this should be the DB unique name. DB unique name underscore DGMG dot. This is the DB underscore domain initiation parameter value. So let me also verify the initialization parameters that I need to set to configure a data guard. As I said, I need to have db underscore domain value set. So this is set to local because I am using a local server, so I do not have my servers on network, so I'm using a local domain. The next initialization parameter is db underscore broker underscore start. Sorry, db underscore parameter dg underscore parameter. So this value should be set to true for configuring, and another initialization parameter also verify is file. So this is also another initialization parameter that set the default value it takes is Oracle home underscore Oracle home dbs. So if we to have the data guard initialization parameter to a different location, we can set this parameter to the corresponding location. So these are the data guard configuration files. The data guard configuration information will be stored in these files. So this is the initialization parameter where we set the location of the data guard configuration files. So let me also verify the same parameters on the standby side. So the next parameter is it is set to. Now I have all the initialization parameters set for Dataguard configuration. These are the main requirements that we need to set to configure a Dataguard. Another requirement for using a Dataguard broker is that you must use an SP file. So you must use a server parameter file for the initialized parameter. Use of the SP file gives the broker a mechanism lets it reconcile property values that you have selected in the broker any related initialization parameter values that are recorded in the SP file. In addition, the SP file has persistent Dataguard settings so that Dataguard continues to work even after the broker is disabled. So when you set definitions of values for properties in the broker configuration, the broker records the changes in the configuration file, also provides the changes to the initialization parameters in the SP file. So when the configuration is enabled, the broker keeps the database property values in the data configuration file consistent with the values of the database initialization parameters in the SP file. So if you use the broker, the manager will update all those values for you. So you need not manually do all these configurations. Let me also explain something about the Dataguard configuration file. So that you are going to need the configuration files for creating a Dataguard configuration. The broker configuration file is automatically created and named using a default path name and file name when broker is initiated. It goes to your Oracle home DBS location as it is specified in this parameter value. These are managed automatically by the daemon process. The configuration file and a copy are created at each managed site with the default names. So there will be two files of exactly the same thing, and it's creating the copy, and you need file. By default, this is where they will go, and the parameters used in db broker config file to override the default path name and file name. That is why you might be using ASM or the cluster file system. I also want to talk about broker log files, but at this moment I'll skip this step explaining the broker log files. But after completing the Dataguard configuration, I will show you the location of the Dataguard log file, and I'll also show you the content of this Dataguard log file. Coming to the actual configuration steps or comments that you use to create a Dataguard configuration, you invoke DGMGRL and connect to the primary database. You then define the configuration, including a profile for the primary. You add your standby database to the configuration, and you enable the configuration, including the. So let me show you the exact commands and explain each and every word in this command that I am using. So this is the syntax that I am using to access command line mode. I am connected now. I'm creating, as I said earlier, I'm creating now a configuration. So create configuration. It can be the configuration name is can be anything. So don't worry, I explain this command in detail. Should be the values that I am specifying. It is executed successfully. Now let me explain this command in detail. So as I said, this is a user specified name. You can mention a name here, and this is the value for DB unique name that you're using. Then you will put in a connect identifier, and this is the fully specified descriptor. This is the connect identifier. This is the fully specified descriptor to be resolved by the Oracle Net Service naming method. The broker uses this value to communicate with the other databases defined in the configuration. After we defining the configuration, we add the standby database. So let me give you the command, and I'll also explain this command. So you are using the database which will be your standby, and specifying the connect identifier. The connect identifier here is optional, because in this command I use connect, and here I am not using any current connect identifier. It is optional here. If you do not specify it, the broker will take a look at the log archive destination parameters on the primary database to make sure that it would correspond. So here is where you add your standby database that you had previously created. Now I can show you some more comments. So this is the comment to the configuration. This is my primary database, and this is my physical standby database. If you see here, the configuration is still digital. As I mentioned earlier, after creating the configuration, we need to enable it. So in the next step, I am going to enable it. So another command to see the configuration is show database, where okay. So if you execute this command, it will give you all the attributes for this Oracle, I mean to say primary database in the Dataguard configuration. So I'm also verifying the same value for my physical standby database. So these are all the attributes that have a physical database in the Dataguard configuration. Now the next thing is to enable the configuration. So the configuration is enabled. Now see here again, the configuration is a success. Now the Dataguard uses the configuration which I have defined now. This is how we'll do a Dataguard. Now I have to show whether my Dataguard configuration is successfully configured, whether I will be able to manage data from standby. So let me show you. Now I'm doing a switchover operation. That means the primary becomes second, and the will become physical, and physical will become primary database. Switch over to now. See, switchover is completed. It is successful. Also, let me switch it back to primary. switchover is successful. That means Dataguard is successfully configured. Now finally I have to show you the log file for the Dataguard configuration. So the log file for Dataguard configuration will also be stored in the same location where our alert log file is stored. So let me go to that location and I'll show you. So the file name will start with drc and sid name .log. So this is the log where it shows all the Dataguard logging information in this file. Let me also show you the content of it. So this is how it stores the information in the log file. This ends the session on configuring Dataguard. Thanks for watching this video.